Hi and welcome to Misty and Me. Just a short video brought about by a question somebody asked me the other day, and it was, when you go out on the water, how do you go on for things like bread and milk if you're in the middle of nowhere? Which I thought was quite a good question. Now a lot of boaters will tell you they buy the boxed milk because it's long life. It's not the VHT if you don't want the VHT. You can buy your pasteurised, etc. In the boxes, and a friend of mine has half a dozen on his boat at any given time, so when he goes out on the water, if he's unable to find a shop where he's moored, then obviously he's got his own backup supply. Then it got me thinking about the bread, and yes, you can make bread in the traditional way by carrying the yeast, etc. with you, powdered yeast or whatever, but I just thought this was one of the easiest and quickest ways of solving that problem. Now, most supermarkets carry these little packs of pre-mixed bread mix. Now, I think I bought this one from Aldi, but everybody does their own. I think Tesco's do and Asda do, and the range in price between anything between 59 pence and 99 pence, always for the same size bag, just the different brands. So today I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to put together some bread if you're in the middle of nowhere on your boat and you've run out. Hope you enjoy. Okay, first things first, let's clean our hands. Always trained. I used to be a chef many years ago. Good scrub before we start. And I know it's just myself that's eating this bread, but at the end of the day, it's good practice. Personal hygiene when you're cooking. Okay, so let's let the baking begin. Okay, so what we're going to make today is a 500 gram bag of oat and linseed bread mix, which tastes absolutely lovely. So do give it a try. All we need to do, in a clean bowl, tip the contents of the bag. It couldn't really be much easier, to be fair. You don't need no catering skills for this. And I think if you've been out cruising, or you're just moored up in the middle of nowhere and you want to make up a batch of bread, it couldn't be much easier. So the mix in the bowl, simple as that. You're going to add 300 ml of warm water. Don't get it too hot. Just pop it in. Again, there's no science to this really. Use a fork just to keep your hands a bit clean while you first mix it together. The actual preparation time on this bread mix is something like, in total, about 12 minutes, and then you need to leave, as with all bread obviously, something like 30 to 40 minutes proving time, and obviously you're going to pop it in the oven. This is a nice easy thing to do if you're already cooking an evening meal, so you've got your oven on your boat and you want to utilise that gas that you've already using to cook your tea. Now once it starts to get something like mixed, I'm old fashioned, I like to get my hands in amongst it. A little bit of flour, just so you're not getting too stuck up with it. Get a bit of a knead around, get all the bits off the side of the bowl, start mixing it in. You need to do this for about 5 minutes just to get the moisture in amongst the mix. Don't be frightened, giving it a bit of a bash about, because the one thing with bread is you don't have to be gentle with it. In fact, you'll build up your muscles, giving it plenty of a workout. It makes it more elastic, the better, and the better the result will be. Now that's a little sticky, not major, but it's just a little. So just a bit of plain flour, ordinary everyday baking flour, just to stop everything getting too sticky, and then get a nice knead around in the bowl so it's becoming workable. Now what we're going to do, once this has been kneaded in the bowl, we're going to tip it out on the worktop, which I've already cleaned, just in case you're wondering, and then we'll stand it for about 5 minutes to rest, just to give it a chance to settle, and then we'll move on to the kneading and the making of the actual bread rolls, and that's what I'm going to make today. So we've got it all out of the bowl, all the contents is in that bowl of mix now. So again, just pop it on the worktop, get the bowl out of the way, get the fork out of the way, and then just give it a bit of a good old-fashioned push about, just to work it. And that way then you're not going to get any dry sections in the ball of dough that you're then going to divide up to make the actual individual rolls. It's not exactly hard work, but it does give you the good results if you get a bit of a knead about. There. And there we go, that's it, first stage. We're just now going to leave it 5 minutes just to settle, and then we'll give it a proper good kneading into individual balls. Okay, that's a good 5 minutes. So with a sharp knife, I'm going to section it into 6. Now that mix could be left as a ball and kneaded as a complete ball and placed into a 2 pound loaf tin, and then obviously you could have it as a single loaf. I just prefer, being on the boat on my own, to have it into nice ball sizes for making individual cobs. So as before, turning and folding, giving each individual ball a knead. Now you can use this mix, not only do it by hand, but you can use it in a bread mixer if you wanted to. So for those who don't or can't just get a gentle knead, then obviously by all means do use a bread mixer. Speed up the process, and you can have yourself a cup of tea while it's sorting it for you. Now we don't have to spend hours with a kind of bread mix doing the kneading. You know, I do like just to give them a bit of a good stretch and a push and a pull. And I'm sorry it's going to take me a little bit longer than you would expect, because I'm doing all 6 in front of you in real time. But then this is what it's about. This is about how easy and how quick it can actually be done, and it's no big task. And these little bags are ideal because they have a shelf life, I think it's just over 1.5 years, so you can put them into a container on the boat in one of your cupboards out of the way, and as I say, just simply have it as an emergency should you not be able to find a local shop and you've run out of bread and you just want a cob or two to make a meal. As I say, it's nice and easy. They do all different versions, all the manufacturers do. You can get your wholemeal breads and your whites. And I did try this linseed and oat, and I thought, well, it sounds a bit strange, but I'll give it a try. And out of all the ones I've made, I must admit, this is one of my favourites. And what I have found is, if once you've baked them and you've allowed them to cool, obviously, if you place them in a plastic bag in your bread tin, in your bread holder, these will stay lovely and moist for many days. Anybody who knows me and knows this boat knows I always have it quite warm on board, and I do find that with the mass-produced bread, when I put it in the bread box on the side in the kitchen here in the galley, that it doesn't last very long before it starts getting a bit dry, but that's maybe because the boat is a bit too warm. Right, that was easy. Not exactly uniform, but that doesn't matter. So now all we have to do is place the 6 cobs onto a tray which I've greased and I've floured. Just equally space them out. Now you can either cover with a damp cloth or some cling film, and I'm going to go for cling film. And then just put them on the side for 40 minutes, and we'll come back to them then and just see how much they've grown before we place them in the oven. Time for a cup of tea. Okay, 30 minutes, or just over 30 minutes, and these have risen enough now, ready to go into the oven. So temperature wise, if you're using a standard electric oven, non-fan assisted, you'd be looking at 230 centigrade, which is 450 Fahrenheit. Fan assisted, you'd be looking at 210 centigrade, 410 Fahrenheit. And on a normal gas oven, you'd be looking at Mark 8. Now, from previously cooking on the boat, I find that if I leave mine on because I'm bottled gas obviously, I do it on 7, and where it would say leave for 15 minutes in the oven, I leave for 20. You tend to find that's the best result. But obviously you've got to work with what you've got, you know, what oven you've got. So we're going to pop these in, and hopefully 15-20 minutes time we should have some nice hot rolls. So come back to me then, and we'll see how they've baked. Right. And there we go. If it sounds like a drum, it's done. Six beautiful, hot linseed and oat cobs. Looking forward to having one of these in a bit with some fresh butter and some cheese and pickle. Thank you for watching. I hope you've learnt a little bit of something, that it's not that hard just to bake a bit of bread. If you're on the side of the cut and there's no shops, it's simple. Thank you for watching. Bye.